Esteemed Sergei Kozhergetovich, esteemed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, Moscow Forum has become traditional and important ground on which all interested parties are discussing and proposing ways to settle problems related to the onset of new challenges to the security in the modern world. Primarily, this is the growth of activity of international terrorist organizations led by the so-called Islamic State, acting in the Middle East and Northern Africa. ISIS and Jabhat al-Nusra and also international terrorist organizations. We have the citizens of different ethnical and social levels from different states. The heads of ISIS having considerable financial and man resources, also supplied also by sponsors from many countries of the world. They recruit new men to participate in these combat operations, and the propaganda is also actively used, and they're trying to dictate the global community their own agenda, developing the undermining activity in Europe and Asia. Today, the Syrian army, with the support of the aerospace forces of Russia, ISIS suffered dramatic losses, and dramatic damage has been inflicted on its material and resource base. And these terrorist groups, they return to the exodus countries, and this is also used through legal and illegal channels of migration. They found themselves in the native countries. Having not said no to the principles of terrorists in these hot points, they continue to establish a concealed network of terrorist cells to develop their terrorist activities. And we have a confirmation of this destruction of their Russian airliner in the skies of Sinai, these dramatic events in Paris and Brussels, and also some of the terrorist acts in northern Caucasus. We have to admit that no state in the world is insured from that kind of crimes, and terrorism is now exceeded the national characters and have a global character. Extremists and terrorists are using most advanced IT technologies, internet, and they unleash the propaganda of terror as the only method of struggle of total war against infidel. And they play skillfully with these institutions. They use these feelings of mistrust to official institutions. They manage to mobilize lots of people under their banners, and specifically youngsters. It is quite obvious that effective fight with terrorism should be built on systemic foundations, including ideological, information, and law enforcement components, and execution of several directions is the duty of state bodies, armed forces, special forces, and law enforcement bodies. I think that it is very important, and the leading role in terrorism should be played by the community of special services having all the necessary operational means. The situation which we have today requires coordinated and decisive actions in terms of physical information and ideological suppression of terrorist movement. Enhance the creation and harmonization of system of measures to fight against ideology of extremism, to generate general approaches to this mission, both at the level of separate states and in the framework of the international cooperation, should be done exclusively with coordinating role of counter-terrorist committee of the Security Council of United Nations, tied up with the statements of the global counter-terrorist strategy. For us, it is obvious that it is not possible to fight terrorism alone. That's why the Federal Security Service of Russia continuously stands for fully developed cooperation to fight against the ideology of terrorism and to fight against their forces through the channels of special forces and law enforcement bodies. One of the most important venue for that is the annual meeting of the heads of special bodies and the partners of Federal Service, Security Service of Russian Federation. In 2015, in the 14th forum in Yaroslavl, we met 92 delegations from specific services from 64 states and also profile structures from 4 international organizations. In the framework of this meeting, we managed to reach high level of trust and ensured exchange of operational information with many partner special services, which enhanced mobilization of efforts against terrorism, and the Federal Security Service is open for cooperation and dialogue from all who believes that they are ready to do that. Esteemed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure that the future discussion at the conference will make it possible to make another step to build stable and formidable peace on the basis of mutual security. I wish the participants successful and fruitful work. Thank you for your attention.